Thank you very much. So many of you, good news.
With a name like darvill, I just feel like an American just kind of botches it.
I know, it's fine.
Yes, well, thank you for being here.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Well, first question, you've been here yesterday and today with all of your adoring fans.
Sure.
How's the Comic-Con been
It's
going?
been amazing. It's so nice it being so open. It's always been so lovely. So thank you for coming to say hello. I've had some nice gifts and things. So yeah, it's been very lovely.
Well, I have to say, I feel like Doctor Who fans are some of the most loyal in the world. Would you agree?
Well, when I did Doctor Who, I didn't realise this was even a thing. You do a job as an actor and you get on with it and you move on to the next thing and you kind of think you're going to leave that behind forever. So it's really nice to carry on and keep talking about it. And it seems, it's amazing to see really young people as well who are getting into it now and it means so much to people of all generations. So yeah, it feels like a real privilege.
It really spans generations, and we see that with even when people are asking questions. It's like, I grew up watching it, or my mom showed it to me. What were your first kind of earliest memories of Doctor Who? Maybe as a child, or did your family watch it?
It wasn't really on when I was a kid. I remember seeing a few Sylvester McCoy episodes and Sophie Aldred. And, I was fascinated by it, but it wasn't really on. But it's so funny over here, isn't it? Because it's just in the language and in the culture so much that people refer to it so much. And someone gave me like a long Doctor Who scarf as well when I was a teenager, and I wore that for about 3 years around. Like I was doing cosplay for several years. So yeah, I feel like it was kind of in my bones somewhere.
Maybe you manifested it.
Maybe I did manifest it. Yeah.
Round of applause for Amelia, by the way. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Amelia.
Sorry, I ordered a coffee. Thank you.
Hard-working people here at Comic-Con. Well, I have to say, I have interviewed Mr. McCoy and Mr. Baker, and so many. Jodie Whittaker as well was here recently.
Wonderful.
And every single person from Doctor Who, it's one of those casts that every single person is not only really lovely to the fans, but a great interview, and they just have this charm about them.
Sure.
Would you agree that, the people that have worked on Doctor Who are just sort of in a league of their own?
Well, I think, it's funny, when we were doing Broadchurch, obviously a lot of Doctor Who people were in there, and so it feels like a bit of a family. But when Chris Chibnall kind of asked me to do Broadchurch, he was like, look, there aren't going to be a lot of Doctor Who people in it because I love working with them, and we're having a no horrible people policy, like everyone's going to be lovely, and I think that really shines through in Doctor Who as well. It's, you get cast for things because you're right from the heart, good first of all, but I think it also is a family that you're going into, and I think they're very aware of that when they do it to do it.
Great group of people for sure. Before we get to the fans, I have a question. Obviously, we have stars from stage and screen here at Comic-Con, from different genres, TV, film, and the theater.
Sure.
Why do I keep doing the accent?
No, I like it. It's good. It suits you.
I'm trying. Well, when it comes to theater and musicals, that's kind of a different vibe. What is the difference to you, and sort of what do you prefer most? Is it film, TV?
Well, it's very strange. Like when I was growing up in Birmingham, I just wanted to be on stage. Like it was my thing. Not even really in musicals, in plays. And I was in a band separately, so I was kind of singing and doing that very separately to theatre stuff. And I just wanted to be at, the RSC or at the National, doing plays. And I never really thought about doing TV and film. I never really thought about doing musicals either, so a lot of my career has been quite a surprise, and now I've really fallen in love with both doing, TV and film and doing musical theatre as well. I am very humbled every time I get a job. It's one of those things when someone asks you to do something. I'm very, very grateful for it.
We're so grateful that you're here, and I can fangirl as much as I would like to.
Sure.
That's not what we're about here at Monopoly. We are by the fans, for the fans, and as there are so many of you, don't make me pay for that film, please. Put it on my tab. We have some lovely people that would love to ask questions, but I'm going to start with the lovely Iona, right over here on the left. Round of applause for Iona, our first question at the panel.
Hi.
I'm just wondering,
a very complicated question to answer. I think I've always done it, and I don't know if I was just a very attention-seeking child. But when I started doing it when I was very young, my mum's an actor and a puppeteer, my dad's a musician, so I've kind of followed in the family trade, as it were. But I do just love it, and I suppose the best thing about it is working with lots of different amazing people. You know, every job you get, you kind of you form a family, whether it's for a few days or a few months or a few years. And I've been very lucky that I've got to work with so many amazing people that I really look up to, and that's the best part of it for me. And getting to travel, and you know, I love seeing the world. I love eating food in different parts of the world. Yeah, I did a job in Kiev in Ukraine about 6 years ago, and I made a list of all the best chicken Kievs in Kiev, and that's my way of experiencing a city. So yeah, but yeah, the travel and the people, and you know, when a script is really good, there's nothing better than working on something and really delving into it and putting it all into it. So yeah, I feel very lucky to be able to do what I do.
Question, Aaron. Thank you so much. Quick question for me. We love to hear about the travels that you take, because sometimes you know you are working on a project and you don't get to see anything.
Yeah.
But in your travels, you mentioned being a foodie.
Yeah.
What is your number one tastiest thing you've had in your travels?
I was working in China over in December, and then we went over to Tokyo, and basically everything I ate in Japan was amazing, from the ramen to the tasty buns to all the street food. Like, I'm a huge Japanese food fan, a huge fan of Japan. So.
It's better than guacamole.
Well, you know, ramen was alright. There's not pooping ramen, but yeah, some of that Japanese ramen. They have hard-boiled eggs just in a basket that you can take and eat. And it was amazing, really, really amazing.
We've got our first question here from this lovely patient lady in the front.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm a bit of an actor myself, and at the minute I'm in like the works of a production of Treasure Island. So,
Oh, right.
You're kind of like a cast icon, because I'm like Long John Silver.
Yeah.
My question is, if Rory could travel with any other doctor, who would he travel with, or would he stick with Master?
Well, I don't think Rory particularly wanted to travel with the Doctor anyway, so I don't think he'd pick any other Doctor to travel with. I think he'd be like, no, I'm fine, I'd rather stay where I am, where it's safe. I think that was kind of his job in the team, so yeah, he'd either stick with Matt's Doctor, I suppose he'd go wherever Amy goes, really. It's slightly dependent on her, but yeah, he's not really into it. Even by the end, he's still just trying to get everyone out of it. So.
My other question is, do you have any tips for anyone who's just starting out in the industry like myself?
Yeah, just keep doing it. Just keep meeting people. And you know, I went to an amazing youth theatre in Birmingham called Stage 2, which was such an amazing education. I met lots of other people who wanted to act, and people who didn't want to act, but people who were interested in it, and that's where I kind of formed all my closest friendships, and I think it gave me the experience without thinking of it as a possible job or a career or anything like that. You just keep doing it because you love doing it and find other people to do it with, and yeah, that's all I could say.
Thank you.
Thank you. Team Rory, yes, thank you.
Thank you. Best of luck to you. We love to hear about aspiring actors. Quick question for me. You're mentioning Birmingham. I will not say Birmingham, I promise.
You can say Birmingham.
Birmingham. Try.
Birmingham.
When you are traveling and you're away for long periods, what do you miss about Birmingham?
Well, so I moved to London when I was, I'm old now, so I moved to London 21 years ago, when I was 21, and I was desperate to leave Birmingham, and for various, you know, my parents are still there, I love them very dearly, they're wonderful, and I was just like, no, get me out of Birmingham, I've got to get to London. And now, I absolutely love Birmingham again. Like, I go back a lot and spend a lot of time there because it just feels London's home, but Birmingham is also like proper. proper home. But when I'm away, like obviously I've got a dog and a cat, and I miss them dearly when I'm away. I don't miss the tube. I get around everywhere by bike. I can't deal with public transport. I find it horrible. So yeah, I miss just being able to like cycle around and be at home.
It's funny how that works, right? You want to get away from home, then you grow up and you're like,
Yeah, I know. You go. Actually, it was pretty good.
interesting. We got a question right here.
Hi, I'm Amelia. What's your favourite Doctor Who episode to film?
I don't really know what my favourite episode was to film. I was talking to Pearl about this yesterday. We were like, we get asked what our favourites are or not, and I don't know. It was such a kind of huge experience and such a varied experience that I don't know if there's kind of one episode or one moment that was kind of my favourite. In terms of the writing, I really loved the Pandorica and the Big Bang, like being able to play the Roman version of Rory, and I just think that whole story was so beautiful, and I was really pleased with the stuff that I got to explore in that. So, and also it felt like we were making a kind of 80s Spielberg movie. It felt like kind of on quite a grand scale. Tony who directed it is just brilliant. So yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. But like my most fun memories are probably when we were just kind of hanging out, either in Cardiff or travelling around. And we got to go to New York and do the launch of the series, which was. And it was my first time in New York, which is a city I really love. So I think that was probably the best experience that we all had in it. But yeah, it was all really good. Even the bits where we were freezing cold in various castles in South Wales, it was brilliant. It was really, really great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Will you ever properly release music on Spotify or somewhere?
Will I ever properly release music on Spotify? Well, yes. So I get what happens with me. I think it's because I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD. Is that I do something up until the point where it's nearly finished, and then I go, right, I'm going to do something else, and then I leave all those things to fester for years. So I've got lots of music recorded and lots of stuff that I'm doing. But I am working on. I say this every time. I am actually working on an album at the moment. But I write a lot for theatre and for other things as well. So I've got about 5 or 6 different music projects that I'm writing at the moment. So yeah, hopefully I will release something at some point. But when I need someone else to push me towards doing it and give me a deadline, otherwise it just goes on and on and on. And I get distracted and go do other things. So, yeah.
Also, will you ever come back to doing Doctor Who or the Big Finish series?
Well, we've been doing this Rory Centurion Big Finish series, which I really love doing, especially when we were doing it during lockdown. I just did it in my house. My wife was in it as well, so we got to do some of that together, which was brilliant. And I really love doing those stories. And the plan is I've said to them, I'll just keep doing them forever because I really love it. But it's all about the people coming together and having the time to work on it. So yes, we are going to do some more of that, and yeah, I look forward to doing it. I think they're brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you brought up his music. Any musical influences that you could wrap off to us, past or present?
Oh, well, I'm constantly trying to find new music to listen to. I go and see a lot. I spend most of my time doing is, go to see bands or finding new music. I mean, I grew up, my dad's a musician, so I grew up with a lot of his influences. He played in Finding Cannibals and the Ruben Turner Band, and played with UB40 and various people who were playing. So I grew up with a lot of that music, and then I really got into my jangly indie music when I was in my teens. It was always the aim to find the stuff that no one else had ever listened to. So lots of my influences are like Seafood and Cable and other bands that people have never heard of. Yeah, which is good. I'm a huge Radiohead fan, so I listen to them a lot. And there's this band, Pom Poko. If you get a chance to listen to Pom Poko, they're really brilliant. I saw them a few months ago, and it's really, really good.
This is my friend Xander. Hi, Xander.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Bond.
Yes, nice to see you too.
So my question is, the great thing about the series and the Doctor is that he's been known to change his face into people that inspire him and he admires. If the Doctor was to take Rory Pond's face
Yes.
and you were to become the Doctor,
Yes.
how would you play it differently than anyone else has ever played the part?
Well, I don't know. I think what's so brilliant about that character of the Doctor is that whoever plays them gets to bring their own flavour to it. And it's brilliant, especially when kind of recently with Matt doing it and Jodie, and who I knew before they got the part, and to see them do it and put bits of themselves in was always really, really brilliant, really fun. So I don't know. I suppose it'd be quite funny. I suppose he'd just be very nervous, which would be quite a departure for the Doctor. But I don't know. I'd just bring elements of Rory into it. But I think it might be, it's not going to happen. But if it ever did, it would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much for adding to the legacy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Best T-shirt of the weekend. Yes, thank you.
I'm in drama school myself at the moment, and I'm really interested.
You're at drama school?
Yeah.
Oh, where are you now?
LMA in Liverpool.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I was wondering, where in the Commander Central, how do you think the events of that episode affected your portrayal of Rory and how the character developed from that point?
Well, I think it made him realise he had to kind of take responsibility, and I mean, it was such a huge thing to happen. I think that episode, you're right, fundamentally changed him as a character, and I think he realised the seriousness of everything. I mean, after everything he'd been through, but to kind of be a father and to have had that experience, I think the quest to have a more normal life became much more serious, and the threat that they faced was so huge. I think it made him just take it all a bit more seriously, and also realise that he could step up and be that person to take responsibility. He felt like he kind of proved himself within a bit more as well. So yeah, I think it was a big kind of growing up event. So, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, don't you look fabulous? We're going to come adjust the mic for you. Hi.
I'm Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
You ever make your own show? Like, how would you do it? Would you invite the same
I don't know. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Lots of shows try to be like Doctor Who, but nothing quite comes close. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if I was to have my own show that I wrote, I would definitely invite, Karen and Matt and Alex and some of the other brilliant people who work with on Doctor Who to be there, because I think, as well as being really good friends, I think they're some of the best actors I've ever worked with. So, yeah, I would definitely. That's a really great idea. I'm going to start thinking about that and what show we can all do together. That's very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
I like this. The mic has to go down every time. Hello. Lovely kimono. Yes, you did. What, if I could go back to it now? Well, I mean, it's funny this, because people have gone back. Everyone says, when are you going back? Quite a lot. And it's funny, up until a few years ago, myself and Karen would always say, oh no, we never go back, it was perfect, we never want to touch it, it was perfect. But I think we've kind of got a bit older, I think we've all done lots of other work that we're proud of, and it was a long time ago, we kind of define ourselves in other ways. I think to go back as the characters that we played at some point would be really, really fun. I want to go back for like the 80th celebrations, and when we're much older and even later on. But yeah, I'd love to go back at some point. But if I could go into it now, just as another character, I'd want to be like the scariest monster that Doctor Who's ever seen. You know, a monster that's always standing behind you, but you can never turn around. You know, Thank you. You got it. No pressure.
You got an opportunity to be in a spin-off of Doctor Who, where Warren in back in time.
Yeah, it would take the opportunity. You sound like you've got it planned out, but do you want to write it? You should start writing it down. And maybe we should all make it. Thank you. Okay, how many questions?
I feel like that's a better idea.
We've got loads of time. It's fine. Take your time.
What's your favourite Doctor?
Matt. I have to say Matt, because yeah, you know, he's good, isn't he? What's your favourite Doctor?
I don't know.
Oh, that's good. Good answer.
What's the most difficult thing as an actor?
Do you want the really serious answer? Okay, the most difficult thing as an actor is, well, obviously learning lines is hard, and that's kind of, I think just kind of confidence. Like it's tricky. You're constantly, you know, especially when I was younger, you're very much dependent on other people saying you're good and giving you a job, and that can be really, really hard. And you have to kind of be able to deal with rejection and not getting the jobs that you want to get, and when you do get a job, you go onto the set, you're working with brilliant people, and you go, I don't think I can do this. This is horrible. So a lot of it is about confidence and anxiety managing, really. I think that's the hardest bit. But it's also a lot of fun when you can get through that and work hard to relax and believe in yourself. And it's the best job ever.
What's the most difficult episode you filmed?
Well, a lot of the episodes we filmed in the cold in winter in Cardiff were difficult because they were very cold. Yeah, I'd say those ones.
I think I yell.
In the last episode of the 11th Doctor, Amy appeared. Why didn't you?
Which one?
That's not that bad.
The last episode of the 11th Doctor.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe Rory was busy. I don't think he particularly wants to go and see the Doctor. He's fine doing his thing.
Will you ever appear again in Doctor Who?
Who knows? Who knows?
Doctor, who knows?
Those are good questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, round of applause. Our next host is Comic-Con right now, for sure.
So, quick fire.
Hey there.
Hi.
And she has more time than me.
Well,
half an hour
for various reasons, I really like the silence. I liked it because it was a new monster, and I liked the concept of it. The idea of it was really creepy. But also Marnix, who played the silence, was the most fun guy on set ever. So he had this obviously terrifying character and terrifying costume, and then he'd take it off and just be really jolly. And I liked the juxtaposition of that. I thought it was really funny. So yeah, but I mean, the Weeping Angels were terrifying as well. They were really quite scary. And what they do as well was that some of them were real statues that were just statues, most of them. And then others of them were people in costumes standing very still. And you were never quite sure if you were standing next to a person or a statue until they moved. It was very unnerving to be on set. Well, no, I mean, when I got the job, I was like, yes, I can't wait to work with Daleks every day. And I went and bought like an old Daleks manual and read up on them. And then I didn't get to work with them for ages. So when I did get, especially with the stuff I got to do on my own with them, I was very, very pleased. So yeah, that kind of ticked that box. Thank you.
The chicken's not. It's like.
I'm actually going to go for a non-question.
Great.
So I recently listened to the Good Old Friends audio.
Oh, sure.
And I was just wondering if you got involved in the project and you were the actor.
Yeah, I was. I don't know how I got involved in that. Someone asked me to do it. But it was really fun. And again, it was one of those things during lockdown where I got to record it in my house. It was very weird because we actually recorded it all separately. So we didn't hear, it was a very weird, I found it very difficult actually. So we couldn't hear the other people that we were reading with. We just read our lines and hoped that they made sense. And I was really angry about it at first. It was like, acting is just listening and responding. And at the moment I'm just making it up and it doesn't make any sense. So I found it very difficult, so I've not listened to it. But the people who have listened to it, they've said that it works really well. So, oh good, well, that's good. Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
funny, that's kind of like going off of what you were always taught as an actor is that, and they're trying to get you to do the opposite.
Well, that's what it is. And so I was reading these lines just going, I feel like I'm just doing a voiceover. It doesn't make any sense. And I think like a lot of the time, for speed or whatever, they want if people can't be in the same room, they want actors to kind of do their stuff on their own or, shoot stuff separately. And it's just, for me, it's not what the whole thing is about. I find it very, very difficult. We're just responding to the Hi. Do I still get stage fright? Yes, absolutely. It's a funny old thing, stage fright, and it comes in different guises. So obviously, early on in sort of when you do theatre, like early on in a run, if you haven't rehearsed enough or it's been a very quick process, you get out on stage for the first few times, you don't know how it's going to go. That stuff can be very nerve-wracking, but also the nerves can be very useful. But I really found, so I did Oklahoma, the musical, last year in the West End, and I'd done it for a few months at the Vic and then we transferred it to the West End, so I've done it like 100 and whatever times. And then one night, in the middle of a song, I just blanked on what the next words were. And you can't just I couldn't just make it up. The music was just going and going and going. And I just went, I don't know what I'm doing. And had a vision of myself just walking on stage, off stage, getting on my bike and going straight home, still dressed as a cowboy. And it was horrible. And then, but I didn't do that and I got through it. But then, at the same moment in the show, for about 2 weeks, it came up to that bit and I just started sweating and panicking and it was horrible.